Hi there, this is video 7.10 to graph a parabola, which is where we're going with this. Okay, so the end game here is being able to either graph or sketch a parabola and answer questions about it. So we got to get good at graphing it before we worry about doing the applications. So the two things you need are the value of A and you need the coordinates of the vertex. And how you do that is going to depend on what kind of an equation you have. So we're starting with the vertex graphing one. All right, so that is this one. Okay, so I got to tell you a little story first, and then this will all make sense. So when I was in high school, I really liked math and I was pretty good at it. And oddly enough, this one year we had our English teacher was teaching geometry, and it just seemed really weird. And I was a little bit on the cheeky side because, you know, what would this young English teacher know about geometry? Yeah, I was weird that way in high school. Anyway, he gave us, he told us that adjacent, we're doing trig, adjacent has C in it, and so does cosine. And that's how you can remember that adjacent over hypotenuse is cosine, because our school was not cool enough to know about SOHCAHTOA. And I remember laughing at him and thinking, that's really stupid. How could you not remember that come test day? And then come test day, I'm embarrassed to say I was using his rule because I forgot all my confidence. And yeah, so I talked to him after that, a little while after that, saying, you know, I was pretty cheeky and I'm sorry and all that. And he says, you know, the sillier it is, the more likely you are to remember. And so you all can thank Mr. Diabald, who is now retired and living in Gull Lake. You can thank him whenever I get a little weird coming up with silly things like songs and other things to help you remember what's going on. It's all his fault. I'm trying to make it silly enough that you're going to remember it. That being said, I need you all to imagine that you are a high-level mathlete and you are coming up on a big contest, but you're nervous and they're going to do a p-test. And you're really worried that you're not going to pass the p-test, so you decide to swap your p. I know it's not ethical, but it is how you're going to remember this. So when you find the value of p in the vertex, it is the opposite sign to always, always, always swap the p. Got it? Stupid story, but you're going to remember it. You're going to swap the p, and the value of q in the vertex is exactly as the one that's found in your equation. Take the sign down, everything exactly the way it is. If either p or q is missing, then replace it with a 0. And the other thing is, don't ever forget to rearrange it if you need to. Okay, which is a very long-winded explanation. Let's just do it, and you're going to find this is super easy. All right, so in this case, this equation matches that equation, so I don't need to rewrite it. So a is equal to 2, p. This is where you're the mathlete, and you are going to swap the p. So it's minus in the equation. We're going to put plus 4. You don't need the plus, but I just want to emphasize it. And then the 5 is just going to be plain. If you want, I'll put plus 5 there. So my vertex is 4 and 5. So the coordinates, sorry, I'm pointing up there, which you can't see. The coordinates of the vertex are always given with parabolas as p and q, but it's still the x coordinate is first and the y coordinate is second. All right, so this one does not look like that. So we can rewrite it. We can go y is equal, now a is missing, so I can put a 1 in there. X minus, now it says if either p or q is missing, you can use a 0. So x minus 0 squared minus 6. So how do I know that's 0? Well, I'm looking for the p. The number at the very end, this part's always the q. So a is 1, p is 0, and q is minus 6. So my vertex is minus, oops, is 0 and minus 6. The next one, what should we do first? Yes, we do need to rewrite it. So I need to go +5 and +5. I'm going to get y is equal to 4, x minus 0 squared plus 5. So if there's nothing in the bracket, if it's just an x squared like here or here, you can put a 0 in the brackets and expand it that way. So a is 4 and p is 0. Okay? Negative 0, positive 0 is still 0, and 5. So 0 and 5 is our vertex. Just a hint, I'm doing a here just for extra practice. It doesn't really have anything to do with vertex. Oh. Do we need to rewrite it? I don't think so. So I need my p. All right. Let's play this one in here. Remember all the ones before that were like 1/7 and 1/4 or something like that? If you have a fraction, well, in this case, it's 3/4 or 0.75. Doesn't matter. Okay, so if there's a fraction up front, we can take that out. And we have a -3 in the p section. So it's going to be +3 and a +7 at the back. Oopsies. So it's going to be 3 and 7. Oh, next one's back to normal. I don't think we have to rewrite that at all. So a is -5. This was -6, it becomes +6. And we got +12, 6 and 12. If you put plus in there, that doesn't matter at all. Oh goodness, look at that. I don't know what that is. So y is equal to, now we got -7 x plus 12 squared -5. Basically, we just ended up flipping it, but the -7 belongs with that section there. So a is -7. My p is going to be -12, right? Swap the p, and we're going to have -5. 12 minus 5. I shouldn't have to say this, but if you figure out, what's going on, feel free to pause the video at any point, do some questions, and then turn it back on, or check the answer key. So y is equal to minus, I'm putting a 1 in there, x minus 11, but what's squared, plus, well, what can you add to a value or an equation where it doesn't change anything? Think about your bank account. If you have $10 in it right now, and I give you no money, then you still have $10. Nothing has changed. So I can always add on or subtract off the 0. So a is -1 and 11 and 0. So that's going to give me 11 and 0 as my vertex. All right, last one. Oh my goodness, that's such a little equation. Y is equal to, okay, -1 x plus 0. You can put -0. It really isn't going to matter because it's 0, so sign doesn't matter. Squared plus 0. So that's what I mean. We're up here where I said if either p or q is missing, you can put a 0 in their place. So -1 and 0 and 0, which gives me 0, 0 as the vertex. Alrighty. And just a little hint there. If the equation looks like a standard form but doesn't contain any x's, you can use these vertex rules. Right? So this one right here, you could use, and you would make, can you see at the bottom? Y is equal to 12 x minus 0 squared plus 3. And then your vertex is at 0 and 3. Okay, but you can't do that when you've got a 5x or something in there. The moment there's a single x in there, you have to use the other set of equations to find a vertex. And you'll see that in a different video right away.